The government is very inefficient. I think part of the reason the government is inefficient though is like they don't have any competition. So have you ever went to the DMV or something and then it's like you're just stuck sitting in line forever? Like you just the customer service is terrible. They kind of just like take their time. They don't really care how mad you are. This is hilarious. Look at this. So he actually like is a part of the government now, and he actually put Dogecoin into it. That's interesting. I think a good idea for this would be like they only have 4 years. I mean, I guess they could go longer if it's doing well, but maybe if they like if you get rid of say like the Environmental Protection Agency, um, and it doesn't have any effect, like you just remove them, and it's like things go just as well without them, then just keep them gone. But if it's like, oh shoot, they were pretty good for this reason, bring them back.
First, I want to know who is our fact checker, huh? Yeah, that would be me. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Why are you asking? Yeah. Well, here's a fact. You're fired. Yeah. Well, here's another question.
Let's not forget that
Anyone?
Elon joined Twitter and literally fired like half of the employees the first day, and Twitter's running just fine now. So he's definitely known for doing things like this. I'm gonna be honest too, like, I mean, things like we have the Department of Education. When the Department of Education was enacted, actually created, I believe the United States was like number one as far as education in the world. And since its creation, we went down to like 24th or something. So it might be best just to get rid of it. It actually made things worse than they are now, or than they were before. Let's see what Trump is talking about.
They will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at
You actually need to, like, this shouldn't even be like a thing. I mean, you're clearly born either male or female. Like, we have to reaffirm that men and women are different. It's
establishing
ridiculous.
that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are
I hope
assigned
that's not
at
like too
birth.
radical or
The
anything.
bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago.
This is what actually won him the presidency, right here.
Fundamentals, break it down into the simple things. You do the simple things right, everything else comes together. So I'm learning a lot from them and having a ton of fun.
I don't know. It's quite a bit of recoil on that pistol. That thing is recoiling. Has she actually shot a pistol before?
Americans pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible. They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the land mass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 1/2 of 1%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people all hard-working families a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream.
Yeah, I
Another
don't see
big
a lot of people
opportunity
thinking
is
they're
in
buying homes today.
transportation.
It's getting
Dozens of
people are buying homes today. I really don't understand how they are, because homes are getting more expensive and people are making less money. So I don't see how's that working. The average salary is like 40,000 a year, the same as it was a few years ago, and home prices have skyrocketed.
major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and
Matter
connect
of fact, let's look that up. I don't care. Okay, that has to be wrong. Really? Okay, so it says the median wage was 57,000. Um, Give me a second. I can't get a reliable stat for it. I can't get the stat. Whatever. I don't know about that. 81,000. What is this? Mean wage and salary is 81,000? No way. It's impossible. Whatever, man. I can't find anything reliable, so forget it. But I know for a fact the wages have stayed just about the same, especially if you take into account inflation, and home prices have went way up. That's for certain.
families in our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly, I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police. They will do the job. We will respect the right of parents state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus.
Yeah, they're scared. They're scared now. 100%. If you're not in the club, you're gone.
And there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them. Fifth,
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember like Edward Snowden. He exposed a lot of this a long time ago. He's in Russia now, so they like ran him away. Um, I mean, I think he did something good by exposing like the NSA's, how they were spying on the American people through like telephone lines and everything. So, but Trump seems to be doing the same thing, and of course he's the president, so he can do whatever he wants for the most part.
fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management.
I'm not sure exactly what that is going to do. I mean, I guess since they're not close to each other, they can't like collude as much. But that seems inconsequential, kind of, in my opinion. I mean, if they're in another state far away, if they're in I don't know, across the country in California or wherever, Washington, they can just make a phone call. They're still gonna have buddies in Washington. They're still gonna travel there a lot. We have airplanes. I mean, so it's global now. But I mean,
To Colorado.
I thought we had term limits already. Well, maybe not for Congress.
And for the
Didn't we do that?
cesspools of bloodshed and crime. There's never been any.
Yeah, Twitter account already. One tweet. I mean, we have like 450 um, government federal agencies. That's way too many. I think Elon equated it to having like too many referees on the field to the point where you can't even play. Like you have so many referees on the field in football, you literally can't run a play, and so it makes doing anything impossible. And plus, like even with the government, when these agencies are created, the people like it's the government, so they're gonna make their job needed. Like they're gonna make things take a long time. It's gonna be really idiosyncratic. It's gonna be one person that knows that one thing that you need, and so he's gonna like make it so he's the only person that knows how to handle a certain like process or whatever. Like they're gonna make their jobs needed.
223, Congress released a monster 1,012-page bill with $1 trillion price tag. They're rushing to pass the bill before you have a chance to read it. Why? Well, because it's full of pork. And we've been digging through it, and here's what you're paying for. Liz Warren is spending $850,000 on a gay senior citizen home in Boston. Florida has the villages, Massachusetts has the village people. We're spending $15 million to pay for Egyptians' college tuition. Egyptian tuition, not Egyptians who live in America. Egyptians in Egypt. Egyptian tuition. So we pay for illegals to go to college here, and now we're paying for the tuition before I guess they even cross the border. Speaking of Egypt, Gold Bar Bob's sending 400 grand to a gay activist group that teaches elementary school kids about being trans. Not enough to keep you out of jail, Gold Bar. Sorry. Another $400,000 goes to a group that gives clothes to teens that help them hide their gender, like chest binders and tuckums. Parental permission not required. Even Dianne Feinstein, who unfortunately passed away long before the bill was written, has an earmark from the grave. $500,000 for a DEI zoo. The San Diego Zoo's getting $500,000 for an anti-racist nature appreciation program where high school kids from diverse backgrounds can observe
I have to comment. So that's just funny because the zebra is actually black and white.
wildlife. Why do they need $500,000 to go to the zoo? Tickets are like 15 bucks. That should be enough for every congressman, especially the Republicans, to vote no. But